Hello everybody, Mac here, and today I'm going to talk about one flaw with GTA Online, and one reason why I feel a lot of people have stopped playing the game. This is one thing that I've kind of been thinking about, and one thing that's been on my mind recently about GTA Online, and one thing that could very easily be improved for GTA Online and in future GTA games. At least if Online, carries over to like GTA 6 and stuff. But before I get into that, I just want to cover on the gameplay. Now, the gameplay in this video is going to be a pretty cool deathmatch. It's a 4v4 deathmatch. It's made by Icy, so this is one of his deathmatches. And this was actually my first time playing this deathmatch, and the deathmatch is kind of broken. Like, if you can see in the middle, you're supposed to be able to, like, get on those ramps and then jump up, and then you can get a few carbine rifles and stuff like that, but for some reason, like, it glitched out and you can't actually get up there. So yeah, it's pretty much just combat PW and pistol 50 cal only. So yeah, hopefully that's actually kind of fun, because in my opinion, the pistol 50 cal is kind of nice, but I haven't used it much, at least in like a PvP combat situation. And this was after the Lowriders DLC, where we could actually place those DLC weapons in, which I'm having a lot of fun with. Playing just death matches with different weapons that we haven't been able to use, it's very fun. But what I want to be talking about in this video is the lack of challenges in GTA. And what I mean by that is there's not really anything to complete in GTA Online. And what that is, let's say you go into GTA Online. What are you really striving for whenever you're playing the game? What are you working towards? Not much. Some of you guys may say money. You do make a bit of money if you're doing jobs and stuff. Maybe RP. But let's be honest, RP doesn't mean anything after rank 120, and that's something that Rockstar has never addressed. And I've been over rank 100 for well over a year now, and so RP doesn't mean anything to me. And you could also say money, but I mean, that doesn't really mean as much. What I'm talking about here is challenges. Now, GTA Online doesn't really have many challenges, or at least challenges that give you a meaningful reward. Some will either just give you a little bit of RP, but like we just said, RP doesn't mean anything. And it'll give you some little, like, medal or something, that, if you go to your stats, it will say, oh, you completed this, award, but you can't show that off to anybody, so nobody else can see it, and you'll just get a little bit of RP, which doesn't mean much. Some will give you maybe a tattoo that nobody's gonna see, nobody's gonna notice that while you're playing the game. And they could also give you maybe a t-shirt or something like that, but there's so many t-shirts in the game already that the one that you get doesn't stick out. So, really, like, there's no actual reward that will get you something that you can sort of, talk about to your friends or, show off to other players. The only real stat that can really be shown off to other players would be your KD and your rank. Which is one reason why I feel a lot of people care about their KD in this game, is because it's pretty much the only stat that other players will actually see, aside from maybe whenever you're loading up a job, it says, how many races you've won, stuff like that. Now, one thing that you have to keep in mind is that also these awards, these challenges that we already have in the game right now, aren't really all that difficult. And even the ones that do give you something like a t-shirt or something like that, they're not all that difficult. Like one where, I think one is where you have to get 100 kills with night vision on. That's easy, because you can just go kill cops, and that's super easy. One other one was, like, capture, like, 50 bags in a capture or something, like, or deliver, like, 100 bags in a capture. That's not that difficult. Sure, it may take a while, but it's not that challenging to do. And a lot of these were from the Heist update. Did actually add quite a number of cool t-shirts and cool awards for the Heist update, which is one thing I feel they did well with that update. But I mean, they're just t-shirts. One I remember was the showroom one, which was broken for a number of times. Like, I don't think anybody got it until I think they patched it or something. But it's a cool looking t-shirt, but you can't really show it off, or like if you do show it off to one of your friends, it's not really that amazing, you know, it's not really, because it wasn't that hard. All it is just store 30 vehicles, like that's it. So that one's not really that impressive. So you have a lot of these challenges that just either don't give you anything good as a reward, or are not that challenging, so they're not really that impressive if you do get that reward. I want to talk about this because I feel it's something that, for me at least, would add a lot more replayability to the game and just make me want to play the game much more often. Because, like I said at the beginning, what are you really working towards in this game? You know, if you're going into a job, what really are you working towards? There's maybe you wanted to get an achievement or a challenge or an award done, or maybe work on your stats, but really your stats don't mean anything in game because you're the only one that can see them. So, you know, if you get like your total player kills, you're the only one that's going to see that. You know, it's not really anything that you can show off to your friends. And whenever you want, like, say, money or something, sure, that is something that you can work towards, but I usually just go sort of a passive route with that. You know, I'll make money if I do jobs, and I'll do jobs mostly for the fun of it, but I feel like it would be much better if we got some better awards in this game, you know, better challenges, something that you can work towards. So you'd always feel like you're working towards something. That's one thing I feel Black Ops 3 does very well. Call of Duty Black Ops 3, you always feel like you're working towards something. Even in like campaign, zombie, stuff like that, you're always working towards something, whether it's a camo, whether it's a challenge, whether it's just ranking up so that you can prestige, whether it's, you know, your own personal goals. GTA doesn't really have that, aside from maybe the personal goals, which there's not really much you can do with that. So, you know, I think that if we were to get a new update and give us these new weapon camos, give us these new t-shirts, but not just t-shirts, but other stuff like hats and chains and stuff like that, or even vehicle customization. So let's say for the Lowrider DLC, you got your Lowrider, you're taking it to Benny's, and there's some livery that says like, oh, you have to beat this challenge where you have to get in a certain amount of hydraulic jumps in a certain amount of time, or you have to get a certain height for your hydraulic jump. That would be kind of cool, because if you guys don't know, there is a hydraulic jump stat in the game. Yeah, I think if you go to your vehicles and stuff, it will display it. It would give you something that not only looks cool, that probably not a lot of people would have on their car, and it's also something that you can sort of brag about, because, I mean, sure, the hydraulic jump may not be the greatest example because it probably wouldn't be that hard, but if it was something that was sort of challenging, sort of rare, because not a lot of people have done it, I feel like that would just bring a lot more life to the game. You know, you have all these people joining your deathmatch, trying to get this different, you know, these different challenges, whether it's, you know, total number of kills, you know, say you have to get 4 kills in the span of 5 seconds. That would be kind of cool. And they're all working towards these different challenges. Why isn't there this, say, a leather jacket or something for getting 4 kills in 5 seconds? Why isn't there this weapon camo for getting, you know, a 15 kill streak? Something like that. Well, I feel like the Halloween DLC would have been a great thing for this, because imagine if they added, like, this new mask or something, this new, like, bloody mask or something, that the only way you could get it is by playing the slasher game mode, which say you have to kill, you know, as the slasher, you have to kill 7 people, which say 50 times. So you have to kill the entire enemy team 50 times, and they have to have 7 people on their team. That would be something that not only takes a while, but would also be kind of difficult. You know, the chances of you actually doing that would be kind of difficult. So that would be very entertaining, and it would also get a lot more people playing slasher. I feel like something like that would have been amazing. Or would say for the Lowrider DLC, let's say you get this new chain for doing all the Lamar missions without dying, without anybody of your team dying. That would be kind of cool. Or even it could have been Lowrider customization. That's one thing I don't understand about the Criminal Mastermind Challenge. Sure, you get $10 million, which is nice, and I think you get like an achievement. I think there is even an award for it, but you don't get anything in game to show it off. You know, it's something that is one of the hardest challenge in the entire game. Probably the hardest challenge in the entire game. But being said, it's not extremely difficult if you get like an armored Kuruma. But still, it is something that takes a while. It is something that not a lot of people have done. So why isn't there something in game that you can show off for Criminal Mastermind? I always thought it'd be a nice idea just to give the people that have done the Criminal Mastermind challenge a duffel bag. Instead of having everybody try and glitch it into the game, give it, you know, something that not a lot of people have done, or even some of the heist outfits as sort of these heist, I guess, things that you have to do. Let's say you get the elite challenge for the Pacific Standard job. Well, you got a police outform. That's kind of cool. Not a lot of people may have gone, and they could have patched the glitch where you could do it. But the way that you would do, like, the way you could do it legit is by just doing the elite challenge. Stuff like that. I don't understand why we haven't seen that in the game yet, but I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. Do you think that we should get more challenges in this game? Do you think that we should get more rewards for that challenge and better rewards? Because, well, if they add a DLC and they don't have, and they, you know, lock this mask that could probably cost $20,000 in game, sure, if they lock it behind a challenge, they wouldn't be making money off of that. But I don't know. I feel like in the long term it'd be much better for the game than just, oh, well, we're just gonna make everything in the DLC be purchasable and the only thing you need is just money. That kind of, it just doesn't get as many people playing, I feel. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. Hope you enjoy. Feedback is appreciated. I'll see you guys in the next video.